What's up, YouTube? I want to start this video with a scene. You're at a networking event or a conference, or maybe someone just introduced you to a contact over email, and they ask the question, what do you do? And you answer it. You tell them your title, your category, maybe a credential or two. I'm a business coach. I'm a brand strategist. I'm a financial consultant. And you watch it happen in real time. The polite nod, the slight glaze in the eyes, the "oh, that's interesting" that means absolutely nothing, and then the conversation moves somewhere else. And you walk away wondering, I have over a decade of expertise. Why does nobody seem to care? Here's why. And I want you to really hear this. Nobody cares what you do. Not because your work isn't valuable, not because you aren't good at it, because what you do is about you. And your customer, the person standing in front of you, reading your bio, landing on your website, is only listening for one thing. What changes for me? That's it. That's the only question. And until your answer speaks directly to that question, it doesn't matter how good you are. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly why your current answer isn't working and give you a simple formula to replace it. One that makes the right people lean in and the wrong people self-select out. Both of those outcomes are wins. Here's what we're covering. Why the job title is the most expensive mistake in your marketing. The shift from describing your work to communicating transformation. The three-part formula that replaces your job title in every context. 3 live before and after examples across 3 different business types. And the one rule to know if your new answer is actually working. Obi here with Powered by Q. Powered by Q is the strategic brand marketing agency, empowering ambitious entrepreneurs to unlock their brands' maximum potential. We execute this through integrated storytelling that engages targeted audiences, drives predictable conversion, and accelerates growth. We serve purpose-driven businesses by building brands rooted in empathy, driven by data, and brought to life with technology. I'm bringing you the exact messaging framework I've used with over 100 clients. Whether you're a coach, consultant, agency owner, or product-based business, this works. Let's get into it. Here's what's actually happening when you answer that question with your job title. You have answered a question nobody was asking. Nobody woke up this morning wondering what category of professional you belong to. They woke up with a problem, a frustration, a gap between where they are and where they want to be. And they're carrying that problem into every conversation, every scroll, every email they open. When you say I'm a brand strategist, you've put yourself in a box that means nothing to them. Because they're not shopping for brand strategists. They're trying to figure out why their marketing isn't bringing in clients. When you say I'm a business coach, they hear a category. And they've heard that category before. From the last 10 people who said the same thing. Your job title lives in your world. Their problem lives in their world. And the moment you lead with the title, you've made the conversation about you. And the moment the conversation is about you, you've already lost them. This is not a delivery problem. This is not a confidence problem. This is a frame problem. You're answering from your frame when you need to be speaking from theirs. And a frame problem has a frame solution. Here's the other thing the job title does that nobody talks about. It invites comparison. The moment you say I'm a marketing consultant, the person you're talking to has a mental file of every other marketing consultant they've ever met. And you just got filed in with all of them. You're not competing to be the best in a category. You're competing to be the only one who speaks directly to their specific problem. And your job title makes that impossible before you've said another word. So what's the alternative? The shift is this. Stop answering what do you do and start answering what do you change? Because your customer doesn't care what you do. They care what changes for them when they work with you. Not your process, not your credentials, not your methodology. The outcome on the other side. The specific, tangible, believable transformation. And here's the beautiful thing about the shift. Once you make it, the conversation changes completely. You stop sounding like everyone else because everyone else is leading with what they do. You start sounding like the only person in the room who actually understands what your customer's going through. That's not a positioning trick. That's empathy in action. Now, the shift lives in a formula. 3 parts. Here it is. Who you help, plus what changes for them, plus why specifically you. 1 or 2 sentences, every context, every conversation, every bio, every website. This replaces the job title everywhere. Let me break each part down before we see it in action. Part 1, who you help. Not entrepreneurs, not small businesses. The specific person, the one who has the problem you've been positioned to solve. The more specific you are here, the more the right person feels like you're speaking directly to them. Part 2, what changes for them? Not what you deliver, what they experience on the other side. Not brand strategy services, not marketing consulting, the actual transformation. The result, in their language from their perspective, about their world. Part 3, why specifically you? The one thing that makes your path to that result different. Your method, your niche, your timeline, what you eliminate, the thing that makes them say, oh, that's different. 3 parts, 1 sentence. Let me show you what this looks like. Example 1, the business coach. Most business coaches introduce themselves like this. I'm a business coach for entrepreneurs. Here's the same person with the formula applied. I help first-time founders land their first 3 paying clients in 90 days without spending $1 on ads. Read those 2 sentences again. The first one could be said by 10,000 people on LinkedIn right now. It lands nowhere. It means nothing to the person standing in front of you. The second one, the right person reads that and does the math instantly. First-time founder, 3 clients, 90 days. No ads. That's me. That's exactly my situation. Where has this person been my whole life? Notice what the after version does. It names a specific person. It names a specific result. It gives a specific timeline. And it eliminates the most common objection before it's even raised. That's 4 pieces of precision in 1 sentence. Every single one of them is doing work. Example 2, the HR consultant. HR and people operations is one of the most generic categories in professional services. Here's what most people say. I help companies with HR and people operations. Here's the formula applied. I help growing startups build the people infrastructure they need to scale from 10 to 100 employees without losing the culture that got them there. The first version says nothing. Every HR consultant on the planet could say it. The second version speaks to a very specific moment in a company's life, the scaling phase. And it names the fear that keeps every founder in that phase up at night. Not just we need HR systems, but we're terrified of growing so fast that we lose what made us who we are. When a founder navigating that exact moment reads that sentence, they don't see a category, they see a solution, and they want to talk immediately. Example 3, the graphic designer. Design is another brutally crowded category. Here's what most designers say. I'm a graphic designer specializing in brand identity. Here's the formula applied. I help consumer brands look as premium as their product actually is, so they can charge what they're worth and attract the customers they actually want. The first version is a credential. The second version is a promise. And here's what I want you to notice about the after version. The designer has completely disappeared from the sentence. There's no mention of design, no mention of graphics, no mention of branding services. There's only the customer's world, their product, their pricing, their customers. That's not an accident. That's the discipline. Your customer doesn't care that you're a designer. They care that their brand doesn't reflect the quality of what they've built and that it's costing them tons of revenue. When you speak to that, when you disappear and let their problem fill the frame, the right person stops scrolling every single time. In every example, specific person, specific transformation, specific differentiator. The job title is gone. The credential is gone. What remains is a direct line between their problem and your solution. Now, before you go rewrite your bio and your LinkedIn and your website, there's one rule I want you to apply first. Test it out loud. Say your new answer to someone who doesn't know what you do. Not a client, not a colleague. Someone outside your world entirely. Watch what they do next. If they say, "Oh, that's interesting, tell me more," it's working. You've made them feel something. You've opened a door. If they nod politely and change the subject, it's still about you. Go back and find the transformation. Find the felt problem. Write toward that instead. And here's the thing about wrong person self-selecting out. That's not a failure. That's the formula working exactly as it should. You're not trying to be interesting to everyone. You're trying to be undeniable to someone specific. When the right person hears your answer and leans in, that's the moment the relationship begins. Before the proposal, before the call, before they've seen a single piece of your work. Clarity does the selling before the selling begins. Let's bring it home. Nobody cares what you do because your job title answers a question nobody was asking. It lives in your world. Your customer is only listening for what changes in theirs. The shift, stop answering what you do and start answering what do you change. The formula, who you help, plus what changes for them, plus why specifically you. One sentence, every context. We saw it work across 3 examples: the business coach, the HR consultant, and the graphic designer. In every case, the job title disappeared and the transformation took its place. And the one rule, test it out loud. Watch their face. The right reaction is leaning in. Everything else is feedback. Your expertise was never the problem. Your frame was. Now you have a new one. Before you go, 2 asks. 1, drop a comment below and tell me, what do you currently say when someone asks, "What do you do?" Write it out exactly. I read every comment on this channel and I'll tell you specifically what's working and what to shift. This is live free feedback. Use it. Number 2, if you want to go deeper on the positioning and messaging work that makes this formula permanent in your business, not just a better answer at a networking event, but a complete brand foundation that converts, the link in my bio takes you to a free 30-minute brand clarity call. We'll look at your current positioning, diagnose exactly where the frame breaks down, and give you a clear path forward. No pitch, no pressure, just clarity. And if this video made something click, hit subscribe, because every week on this channel, we go deeper into the work of building a brand that wins clients. Real frameworks, real case studies, real tools. I'm Obi. Let's build something worth remembering. I'll see you in the next one.